Hey, what's up everyone? RevDMQ back again. Got another video to talk about something that I am incredibly passionate about. I'm incredibly hopeful about, but I'm not sure we will ever see again. Something that I think longtime Battlefield fans would really yearn for. And I'm talking about Battlelog. If you played Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 back in the day, you already know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, well, buckle up, because this system wasn't just good, it was one of the best companion platforms ever made for a multiplayer shooter. And honestly, Battlefield 6 might be the game that needs it the most. Let's go into why. Let's start with the biggest reason why Battlelog should be in Battlefield 6. And that's because you could edit your loadout remotely. Battlelog lets you log in from your phone, you could download the app, you could get on your tablet or your laptop, and you could fully customize your soldier, your kit, your camo, guns, scopes, gadgets, perks, everything. You could tweak your entire setup while sitting on the couch watching a movie with your wife until she falls asleep, and then you go downstairs and you don't have to spend 10 minutes reworking your loadouts because you already did it. And then when you get downstairs to the basement to play the game, you load it up on your console or PC and boom, your kit was already waiting for you. You're ready to go. In Battlefield 6, changing your loadout to me sometimes feels like a task. It feels like a chore. I mean, you're going through the menus, like, I just want to get in the game. I'm a gamer that doesn't have a whole lot of time to actually play like I would really like to. I got a lot of real world responsibilities, and when I get on the game, I want to play the game. But it takes a lot of time to go through all the menus, especially if you're on console. You lose time, and if you're in the middle of a round, you can't hang out with your squad, and if the menus glitch out, which they're doing right now, I don't know, you lose patience. To me, Battlelog solved all of that. It turned loadout management into a second screen experience. You could experiment with weapon attachments without either the stress of a current live match and game timer, or without having to eat up your actual game time. You could build a perfect engineer kit for vehicle heavy maps or prep a sniper loadout for long-range desert maps even before booting up the game. And it made Battlefield feel like a living game that you were interacting with and constantly thinking about between matches, not just during them, between gaming sessions, not just when you boot it up. And I think Battlefield 6 needs that level of convenience back. And honestly, if they had the Battlelog companion app, I wouldn't even go into the menus on my PlayStation to edit my loadouts. I would have the game up and I would change it on the Battlefield app, on the Battlelog app, and do it from my phone and have it ready to go as a second screen experience. Another feature we need to talk about, something modern Battlefield still doesn't do nearly well, is remote server browsing. Server browser, please. With Battlelog, you could open your browser, you could find a server you liked, you could check the map rotation, you could check the player count, you could see which of your friends were active, and then you could literally join that server on your console or PC from your phone. This was really revolutionary, and this is like 12-year-old technology. I remember this specifically, being at work or at school, being on my phone, looking through servers and bookmarking the ones that were active with the games that I liked. And I remember joining a 64-player server that had slots open, and Battlelog let you click join server, and your game, even if it was closed, would launch and connect automatically. There were times I would join a game on my way home, so that when I got home, I was booting into the game already. And I didn't have to go through any of the menus. I clicked join server on my phone as I was pulling into my driveway. Not that I would ever have my phone out while I'm in my car. And when I would come inside, I would just pick up my controller and start playing. In Battlefield 6, server browsing is really limited. It's not functional, and it's honestly frustrating. You have to navigate all of these menus, and the UI is just cumbersome. It's not user-friendly. and they don't have a server browser, not like an authentic server browser, which is a completely different topic. But to me, Battlefield 6's menu and the lack of server browser and the lack of Battlelog, to me, this is a backward step. And Battlelog solved all of that. You could queue into servers remotely, skip bad rotations, avoid empty lobbies, and jump straight into the action as soon as you sat down at your console or PC. And honestly, if they want a way for people to connect with Portal servers, give us Battlelog. Because as we're sitting in the waiting room, as we are waiting to pick up our kids from school, as we are meandering between class sessions, shoot, as we're sitting on the toilet, we can pull up Battlelog and sift through these Portal servers and find the ones that are populated, that are popular, that look interesting to us, and we can bookmark them, we can favorite them, and then we can go into them and populate these servers. It's an added way for Portal to get an extra avenue for players. In 2025, with how connected everything is, it is wild to me that Battlefield 6 doesn't let you do this. Players deserve better, and Battlelog already showed us how good it can be. Not just that, Battlelog was actually a social hub. One of the most overlooked aspects of Battlelog was how social it was. It wasn't just a website or an app, it was a community space. You could see your teammates and friends' full player profiles. You could pull up the squad that just wiped you, and you could look at global leaderboards. You could do stat comparisons. You could do clan pages, platoons. Can we talk about platoons? Friend activity feeds, and even comment sections where people would communicate and talk to each other on Battlelog. I remember going to my friends and looking at their profiles and seeing which guns they were using more than others, and then talking to them about that. Why were you using that and not this when I'm using the PDW and you're using this AR? Battlefield 6's social tools are bare in comparison. Honestly, without platoons and without Battlelog, there's no sense of community outside of Discord or Reddit, which is not something Battlefield has a stake in. In-game, everything feels siloed. You play your match, you leave your match, and everything that isn't firefight related might as well not exist. Battlelog created a sense of identity and continuity in the game. You had a soldier card that you could constantly change and amend, and you could be proud of, and you could see it on the app, and you could see other people's on the app, which you don't see when you're playing a game. You could see progression visually. You could check your stats across matches, across months, across years. I can pull up Battlelog today and see what my player was like in Battlefield 4. Battlelog, the website, is still up, and because it was all stored externally, it wasn't limited. It wasn't limited by in-game UI space. This kind of hub would give Battlefield 6 an instant injection of community energy, something that honestly the franchise has been missing since Battlefield 1. Battlelog made Battlefield feel bigger than the matches. Battlelog gave Battlefield a sense of scale outside of the game itself. It made the game feel like a world, something you lived in, something you inhabited, not something that you would boot up from time to time. You could track assignments, you could read patch notes, you could join platoons, you could compete in global events, you could monitor your stats, all from a browser or your smartphone. It was Battlefield's version of like Destiny companion app, except honestly, it was more fully featured at launch than most modern companion apps today, and it's freaking 12 years old. In Battlefield 6, everything feels locked behind the game client. You can't engage with the game unless you're actively playing it. There's not a persistent ecosystem, no second screen immersion, no Battlefield everywhere. Battlelog was that. And bringing it back would immediately make Battlefield 6 feel more alive during the slow months, the off days, and the late nights when players aren't logged in. It extends engagement, it strengthens the community, and frankly, it makes the game feel more premium. And lastly, Battlelog gave players control, something Battlefield 6 needs. One big theme here throughout this is control. Battlelog gave players control over their loadouts, their servers, their friends list, their clans, their platoons, their stats, their progression, their social identity, their upcoming sessions. Players weren't waiting on long menus or cumbersome UIs or limited in-game tools. They could prep their next session like someone planning a mission. It felt intentional, it felt connected, it felt like Battlefield respected your time. Battlefield 6 could use that philosophy right now. The more control players have outside the game, the smoother and more efficient their time inside that game becomes. Here's the bottom line. Battlefield 6 needs Battlelog back in a big way. Not because of nostalgia, though, let's admit it, Battlelog was pretty freaking incredible. Not because of nostalgia, but because the modern Battlefield experience is fragmented, it's slow, it's limited compared to what we had over a decade ago. Battlelog made loadouts easier to manage. It made server browsing smarter. It made the community, honestly, the community stronger. And it made Battlefield feel like a living ecosystem, not just a game. If EA and DICE want Battlefield 6 to have that longevity, to have legs, to thrive long-term, they don't need to reinvent the wheel. They just need to bring back one of the core systems, one of the best systems that the franchise ever created and that we have been yearning for, longing for a long time. Bring it back. Bring Battlelog back. If you agree, hit the like button, share it with someone else, comment below. Should Battlelog make a return to Battlefield 6? Why? What did you enjoy about Battlelog? What feature would you want the most? Thank you for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Grace and peace.